I don't know if you've ever had the experience of praying and feeling you're really getting nowhere. Maybe you even said at one point, oh, what's the point of praying? Well, I think if we're honest, most of us have said that at one point or another, maybe a number of times. And yet I would also say that every single one of us who has thought that has also gone on to realize that we're wrong. That praying is definitely worth it. That there is always a point to prayer. Here today in Psalm 61, David's crying out to God. He's crying out because of difficulties. It's what we should always do. It seems as though he's not being heard. And yet, if like David, we persist in our praying, we persist in pleading about a particular situation, I believe it will always lead us to what the second half of the psalm is full of. And that's confidence in God. You see, the more time we spend communing with God, the more time we'll understand him, the more time we'll give ourselves to be reassured of his truths, his promises. And this will make us a confident people. And yet it's interesting that we need to, like David at times, cry out to him, be broken, be desperate, before we feel that confidence. Oh, all too often we just want things so easily, so quickly, don't we? And yet God our Father knows that the best things that we need, they come by earnest, serious, spiritual work. He wants us to seek his face regularly. He wants us to turn to him constantly and ask for help. If you're a parent and you can ever remember or experienced your little children coming to you and saying, oh, Daddy, Mummy, could you just help me? It's a wonderful thing to hear them say. We love to help our children. And you know what? So does our Heavenly Father. David, as he turned to God, he saw and he realized that he was only, and all of us are only ever safe when we're in his hands, because he's always sovereignly working for his glory, everything, and for our good in everything. And so he asks at the end here in verse 7 for God's love and faithfulness to protect him. What a great thing to ask for. So as we cry out to God, maybe we need to cry more passionately and plead more seriously. But what a wonderful thing to ask for God's love and faithfulness to protect us today in everything and anything we're doing, saying or thinking.